Okay, now we should be,
Oh, so they didn't hear anything we said?
I don't think so.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I just went through some updates and all, and evidently y'all couldn't hear it, but welcome to Test Administration Office Hours. I hope you can hear us now. We heard nothing until now. Okay, thank you. Well, we're happy to have you. I'm going to present a few updates or reminders actually, and then Kirsten will do a short presentation on end of course, and then the rest of the hour will be up to y'all to ask questions. I wondered why we didn't get any questions before. We didn't know you were not online. Okay, my reminders have to do with Beacon. And as y'all know, Beacon is customized fully this year and it's free. So if you want to sign up for Beacon, it's not too late. You can do it. Those of you that filled out the survey request, you should already be on the platform. And if you've decided that you now want to do Beacon, you can, and all you have to do is call DRC customer service and tell them you want to take Beacon, and they will get you on the platform, and then you can start testing. Just a quick reminder that there's no pre-code with Beacon, so you have to upload your own students. Another reminder is that Beacon comes with BEIS, which is the instructional strategies, the curriculum part of Beacon. And the information that I wanted to emphasize to you is that this year that BEIS, or the instructional strategies, are coded for our new standards. So you get an instructional strategy, it will tell you which standard it's aligned to. We've had some questions about accommodations for Beacon. One thing I wanted to tell you is that for ML students, you can use the non-embedded accommodations that you use for the other courses for SC Ready and end of course. That would include bilingual dictionaries, rewording or translating directions, nonverbal indication of responses or dictated responses. So you can use all of those accommodations with Beacon. There is also a fixed form test for this year. They have Braille materials for K through 8. The online administration has video sign language that is only for math, grades 3 through 8. Some of you that signed up early may already have some Braille test packets and video sign language support. If not, you'll be receiving it fairly soon. Let's see, I think that's all the announcements I have for Beacon. Does anybody have any questions regarding Beacon? Oh, I forgot to mention that there are growth reports. You'll get them in March of 26, but I am going to send out a table that I got from DRC that shows what's in the growth reports that you'll get, and I'll send it out on the test administration listserv this week. And that is all I was going to remind you about on Beacon. Are there any questions on Beacon?
Will there be an automated population process for future years?
I don't know if there's going to be an automated population in future years. We haven't discussed that with DRC yet. I know that districts want it, and I know that if DRC can do it, they probably will. Any other questions? I have one other piece of information, and that concerns waiver requests. I wanted you to know the people that applied for one of the waivers, either the mixed mode or the test window extensions or the online request for waiver. Those requests, along with our recommendations, go to the board on October the 7th. So you will be hearing back in a letter form from our office indicating whether or not the waivers were denied or approved. That's all the information I have. Kirsten's going to do a presentation on fall into course, I believe. And she has PowerPoint if she can share the screen.
I will. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully choose the right screen. Do you see it, the PowerPoint? Is it there? Okay.
Yep, you're good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go through just most of I see that almost everyone on here is a veteran DTC. So a lot of what I'm going to say you've heard many times before, but just some, reminders and a couple new little pointers. Let's see. Why are we not going to the next screen here? Okay, so as if there are any sort of new DTCs, and certainly a reminder for the veteran DTCs, DRC's weekly update is going to be your best way to keep up on news that's happening. We also send out listserv messages for some things, but the weekly update will always keep you updated. The fall key dates have now been entered on that, and remember that new information will always show up in purple text. I sometimes ask them to keep the purple on if it's something particularly important, so some things might stay purple longer than the first week. The ordering window for paper materials is open now, and it will remain open through September 26th. Be sure to use this window to order any print materials that you need for your students. It's also used to confirm the contact information addresses, so DRC can be sure they have your correct up-to-date address. Let's see, I think I might have put anyway. DRC has added a new column. I think that's actually on the testing schedule survey. I think I put that in the wrong place. So let me just hold off before I say anything about that. But I will say that ordering your Braille and getting the count of Braille testers to DRC during the ordering window is very important. For end of course, as you know, we have so little print testing. We are down to less than 100 print testers in the entire state across all 4 subjects. So very, very small numbers of print testing. And it actually has happened. It happened last year that if someone doesn't get their Braille order in on time, DRC, it's possible that DRC doesn't produce enough Braille test booklets. We had to have a school, DRC paid for it, but we had to have a school ship, test with a Braille test booklet, finish with it, and then send it to the next school because somebody had waited too long to put in their order and there weren't enough booklets. So it's really important, especially with Braille, that you do that during the ordering window. The school testing schedule survey will open on September 18th and be open through October 8th. That's where you enter those test dates and times for each of the testing subjects. Now, as some of you know, after that October 8th date, when the testing survey closes, we often get a lot of requests to change the schedule. And so if you need to change your testing schedule after October 8th, you can send me an email and I will update the spreadsheet and I'll notify Tanya Keinert, our test security coordinator. However, this is a little bit new. We're going to ask that there be no changes after the state window opens on December 1st. Now, I understand that occasionally changes are needed when there's been some kind of dramatic weather event and school had to close, especially in the fall winter window, or if you had some power or internet outage that really messed up your testing schedule, then you can email or call me and we will make arrangements for you changing your schedule. But for just for reasons other than that, we're not going to allow changes after the state window opens. It makes it very difficult for our monitors and for Tanya, who's going out and doing site visits during the window. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, just a few other reminders as we get ready for fall testing. This isn't really fall testing, but the alternative window, which is open right now, is open through October 17th. And then it will open again after the fall winter window, mid-February or about 10 days into February. Remember that you must submit the approval form that's posted on the End of Course webpage for the alternative window. It has to be submitted by the DTC, not other administrators. And this is important. DRC is now requesting the 13-character SIS code be included in those requests, and that's new, and it has to do with their new portal. So just make sure that you remember to include that in requests. And a reminder that the alternative window may not be used for regular makeup testing. It is only allowed for certain specific situations, most commonly for things like adult ed or self-paced programs for which the calendar doesn't follow the regular brick and mortar school calendar. As far as makeup testing, if it's for some students, if there was a really serious medical situation where they missed the entire regular window, I would consider approving testing in the alternative window for that, but not regular, just the typical makeup testing that you should allow for in your regular district window. Pre-code is due to the State Department on October 24th. You probably already know that. The DTC pre-test workshop required for DTCs will be October 21st, and DRC will be sending out the link for that. And then the STC pre-test workshop webinar will be on November 6th. And please require your STCs to attend that. I think it's really helpful for them. They get a lot of good information, even though it doesn't replace your usual face-to-face testing. And DRC will provide that link that you can then provide to your STCs in the weekly update. DRC's registration, we have new terminology now with the new portal, and instead of calling it test management, it's called registration. That opens on November 17th. I do kind of want to run through this again. I always talk about this because I always get questions. Rostering SPED students who are not enrolled in traditional credit-bearing courses. So these would be students who are in programs that do not end in a South Carolina high school diploma. But the federal government, for federal accountability, they're still required to take English 2, Algebra 1, and Biology 1. We have special codes that we have created that will bring those students onto rosters in DRC system. And that's this 4857 for English 2, 4851 for Algebra 1, 57 for English 2, 52 for Biology 1. And at this time, it's not applicable to US history because social studies is not required by ESSA for federal accountability. These two blanks here and then the 00, the 7th and 8th characters of that code must be coded with 2 zeros. And I think you probably already know that normally the figures that go in there, the digits that would go in there would award Carnegie unit credit, and these codes are not associated with a course that awards credit. A few pointers about those SPED codes, just reminders that the IEP team determines when a non-diploma SPED student should be scheduled to take end-of-course tests. It is not dictated by certificate courses or anything other than the IEP team. Again, the required tests are end-of-course Algebra 1, Biology 1, and English 2. And as I just said, the rostering codes are not connected to any course, including courses that count toward the employability certificate. All these codes do is roster the students for testing. These codes will show on a student's course schedule as an extra course. It'll look like a course, but their only purpose is to put the students on a roster. And the last thing this is a little bit of, I have not talked about this before to DTCs because I only really got into it myself recently, and only very recently was I asked to edit the entries in SC Satchel. And if you don't know, I have no idea whether DTCs know what SC Satchel is or not, but it is the repository on our state website, SCDE website, that has all of the academic standards, and it also has the course codes. It replaces the old activity code manual, which I'm sure you all were at one time familiar with. So this is this link that I have here, and we will probably provide you with this PowerPoint, is the link to SC Satchel, and I'm just going to open it up so you can see what it looks like. It froze. Oh, there it goes. But I don't know if you can see it. I might have to switch screens. Can you see that? Here, I'll move it over here. Now you can probably see it. Now can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, oops, I think I just covered it up. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I am. Okay, now I can share again and you'll be able to see it, I think. There. I have too many monitors. Okay, so this is SC Satchel, and you can see here's where all of these boxes are linked to academic standards, but if you scroll down, you see it says SCDE course code database. So that's what has replaced the activity code manual. I'm going to open this up. And so what you have here is, here's the courses on this side with the course code database. And then over here, if you open a course up, it shows you a little information on it. So there is a little bit of end of course information in here. And let's just look at science. And I for the first time, I was asked to edit some of these. It's not perfect. It's not exactly how I would want to see it, but I did fix some of the things that were not correct. So if I open Biology 1, which is a gateway course under the end of course regulation, this is how the standard State Department chosen gateway course will look. Gateway high school course aligned to the standards. Down here it says end of course exam, yes, and it says students enrolled in this course will be assessed by EOCEP, 20% of the grade. So this text, what it doesn't say is that students enrolled in this course will be automatically rostered. They will be pulled through pre-code and automatically rostered. But that, I would like it to say that, and hopefully it will in the future. Now, let's go, if we scroll down to advanced placement biology. Now that is a course that sometimes is used as a gateway course. I taught biology. It's not common. It's not really the best course, first biology course for a student, but occasionally a student will be in this as a gateway course. And you'll see here that it says, I've lost my cursor. At the bottom, it says EOC, end of course exam, yes. That's something they put in there without talking to me. I don't care for that. Hopefully, these courses that are not the State Department designated gateway courses, the way we view it, we don't designate additional courses as end of course courses. What we say is you may use other courses with different codes and different names as end of course courses. But if you're going to use those courses as end of course courses, you must ensure that the standards are taught. So this entry says, this one tells you students enrolled with this course are not automatically rostered for the end of course exam. If this course substitutes for Biology 1, schools must ensure that the South Carolina Biology 1 standards are taught and must roster the students manually in DRC's portal. So that's what it will say on some of these other courses like IB courses, AP courses, dual credit courses. I just want to show you one more thing on here. If you scroll all the way down and click on non-instructional and then grades 9 through 12, you can go down and you'll see the rostering codes for the SPED students, Algebra 1, Biology 1, and English 2. And there is a US history in here, but no, I can't get anyone to tell me what it's there for. And when you open it up, it actually says the SCDE will provide more information regarding the use of this code at an appropriate time. So that's that. Okay, then that's all I wanted to show you on this. I'm going to close that down, and I think I can probably stop sharing and open it up for questions.
You have 3 questions in the chat, Kirsten.
Oh, in the chat or in the question? Okay. Let's see. Will 13-digit SIS codes already be set for fall EOCEP registration? I'm not sure what you're asking with that. What do you mean set? The SIS codes come from you. Rock, do you have anything to add to that question? Okay, well, maybe he'll chime in later. Oh, is somebody else answering it? No, yes, yes.
No, those
In this-
answers were in relation to can we see your screen or not?
I'm going to unmute some people so they can ask their question. Everybody's muted right now and they can't unmute.
Oh, okay.
I can figure out how to do that really quick.
Well, while you're doing that, I might go down and look, in this situation, how will EOCP be incorporated? Oh, she's asking about if a student's first biology, I believe the question, and Becca, you could correct me, is you have a student, their first biology course is AP Biology, so it is being used as a stand-in for Biology 1. Yes, the 20% of their grade in that AP course would be the end of course test score. And I, just as an example, when I taught AP Bio, I would have mostly students who had already taken Biology 1, but there might be one kid who jumped into AP Bio without first taking the regular high school Biology 1. And that kid, I had to make sure I covered the standards, and I had to administer the test to that student, and that student's grade was 20% of the 20% counted for their AP course grade, and they were the only one in the class for which that was done because they were the only one who hadn't taken the test before. We had to add them. Is this about, so here's Rock again with the, are you still, is this about the sys codes again? We had to add them. Yes, I think you will always, from now on, for the alternative window, you will always need to include a sys code, is my understanding. Now, this is a DRC thing, so if I hear differently, I can let you know, but I think it has to do with their new platform. Okay, I think I answered all the questions. Are there any other questions? Okay, do we have any in the Q&A, or they were all in the chat?
They were all in the chat.
Okay, well, as usual, if you have questions, call, email. I presume we can provide this PowerPoint if you think you'd like it for reference. But that is all I have for today. So. Oh,
Y'all
yes,
have any
please.
questions about any assessment?
See something new in the chat? No. There's an SE Ready question.
Yep. Can you clarify the SE Ready monitor requirement? Monitors required for every testing room.
So earlier this summer, a memo went out stating that monitors were going to be required. In the weeks following that, an additional communication was sent as an email to superintendents, backing off of that a bit. So while monitors are not required in every room, it's highly encouraged to have monitors in the rooms. Monitors are required when we have individual administrations of SC Ready. If you have multiple, well, in your hallways, monitors are required. But in the classrooms, it's highly encouraged to have not only a test administrator, but a monitor, but it is not required at this time.
By the way, that memo applied to end of course as well. There's another Rock, if students take a higher EOCEP course than the gateway course, for example, AP Biology, are schools required to code those students as not tested? Do you mean the ones, I'm assuming you mean the students who already took the test? the previous year in a regular biology course. So if they've already been tested, no, you would not need to code them as not tested. Actually, this is something that I don't think our ORDA has handled very well. So at this point, I would say you should probably call Lisa Woodard and ask her about that. The problem now is that we're no longer using that longitudinal sample for accountability. But I do think that they've added to the report card calculations a way to note that the student has already taken the test. Another SC Ready question from April. So hall monitors will be required on testing hallways for SC Ready like they were for EOCEP last year? Crystal?
We put an answer in the chat, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Will there be a new EOCEP TAM for 25-26? There is, yes, there will be a fall. I'm not sure what you mean by new. You all know that we're combining the SC Ready and the EOCEP TAM. In the fall will be a sort of a hybrid TAM, and actually that was one more thing I could have added to this presentation, but I didn't. The fall TAM will have a lot of the front section will be the new combined text. So you might see references to SC Ready in there. Once you get to the test directions and the appendices, it's the same as it's always been. Then for spring, we will roll out this brand new, completely combined SC Ready and end of course TAM. Oh, when I say new TAM, I mean new organization. The organization has changed a little bit in the new TAM, but I wouldn't say hugely. Crystal, would you agree? I think we've taken a lot of the appendices will now be actual sections, and then the test directions will be at the end. But other than that, I don't think the organization has changed a whole lot.
No,
It was enough work just getting the two together. Okay, well, we have to manually roster AP US history students who will take the, there is okay, so so history is a little bit different because they are 11th graders. We have, it is much more common for 11th graders to be taking an advanced course as a gateway course. So AP US history is automatically rostered as it always has been. And that's why this is the part where I need to do a little massaging in those satchel entries. I think it should state that that will be rostered. And you're right, it doesn't state anything. So AP US history is rostered. Dual credit history, the second semester is rostered automatically, and I believe the IB course is also rostered. And that's because we have so many kids taking those advanced courses as a gateway. Any more questions about anything?
Well, if there are no further questions, we thank you for attending, and please send us if there's a topic that you would like to have us cover in a monthly office hours meeting, please let us know. Otherwise, we'll come up with some short topics and lead off with that and then have an open discussion afterwards. So thank you for coming today, and hopefully this was helpful information for you, and have a good fall into course test administration.